friends, I'm Rich Larson and I'm the IRC Tire Guy. Today we are in Oahu, Hawaii for something very, very special. We've got the EnduroFest event coming up this weekend and I have borrowed a TM300, 2019 TM300 from my good buddy Ryan Govea, and I want to give you guys my full review on this machine. I've been shaking it down. This has been unreal riding. This is hard enduro paradise. I was actually just down in that canyon right now, shredding, getting into the rocks and enjoying every minute of it. I'm about to move to Hawaii. I love it here. Hard enduro paradise. I'm all about the rocks. It's been a blast and I've had such a good time putting a little bit of time on this TM300. I want to break it down for you guys right now, so check it out. All right, guys, I am here in a radical boulder field here in Hawaii. Man, I'm so psyched to be riding this stuff. I mean, I want to lay in these rocks and ride and just hammer. It's the funnest stuff ever. I'm telling you, this is my hard enduro dream. And what better way to test a hard enduro machine than getting in a boulder field? We've got ourselves the TM300, and I've got Ryan Govea here. Now, Ryan has been a TM rider for quite a long time. Honestly, since I've known you, you've been a TM rider?
Yeah, so basically 2019.
2019, okay. So what did you ride before that, out of curiosity?
I had a Husqvarna and a Beta before that.
Okay, so 300s.
All 300s.
Okay, so he has a good understanding of, you know, changing bikes. I'm constantly changing bikes. I'm constantly wanting to feel what these machines can do, and I'm having an absolute blast doing it here in Hawaii. And I want to give you guys a little bit of a review. So, what I'm seeing here, awesome Italian machine, right? Italian?
Yes.
Whew, that would have been dumb if I was wrong. Now, it's so much fun and I have so much to say about it, but let me break it down quickly on what I'm riding and what Ryan's riding. Now, I am on a 2019 TM300. This is the carbed machine, right? So, TM does have an electronic fuel injection. It's pretty similar to a TPI, correct?
Correct.
They do have a TPI. I would love to test a TPI, you know. I'm always switching back and forth. A lot of guys are either all in on TPIs or all out on TPIs, and I am in the middle. I don't mind the TPI. I like them. I like a carb too. So this bike is equipped with a smart carb. I'm personally a big proponent of the 36 millimeter key-in, but these come stock with a 38 millimeter, correct?
That is correct.
So you want that 36 millimeter to get that grunt, that lower bottom end. For hard enduro specific, 38 is going to scream on the top, but 36 is going to be a little better. Now, this is a 36 millimeter. Now, same on Ryan's bike, but Ryan has a 2021 TM300, same thing, carved out. We've got a smart carb on it, correct?
Smart carb.
And the only difference here is 21 versus 19. Now, we'll get into that a little more. I'm going to ask Ryan a few questions about the differences in the machines. But first, I want to break down power characteristics. Okay, we're going to try to fly through this review here. I'm doing it all live off the top of my head. Ryan has no idea what I'm going to say, and honestly, I don't know either. Now, okay, power characteristics. This bike definitely, to me, has a light switch feel, okay? It's a strong engine, a very, very strong engine. Now, when I say light switch, to a lot of you guys that ride technical stuff, you might be thinking, man, it breaks loose on traction. Which, if you leave it in first and you don't, you know, it took a little bit of adapting for me to adjust to exactly how the bike feels. If you leave it in first, it's gonna break traction. But the power of this engine is extremely strong, okay? So what I mean by that is, I can run it in second and third gear, and let's break that down again, you know. There's so much we can say about this. So we're talking about gearing as well. Stock gearing, what does stock gearing come with on this?
1350.
1350 stock. This has 1250, okay? So we're about 3.5 teeth different there. It likes to be ridden in a taller gear. It likes to be ridden in second gear. It likes to be ridden in third. And the beauty of this bike is when I get into the slick stuff, which a lot of these rocks are honestly really slick. The side hills are slick. The clay out here in Hawaii is so slick. You can run it in a really, third gear and it will pull. It has the power to pull you out, which a lot of bikes that I've ridden they fall on their face. You know, specifically, let's just say KTM, Husky, Gas, they like to be ridden in the meat of the power, right? So you want to keep it in that meat section and find that grunt and that lug, right? That's that kind of TPI characteristics. This has a carb characteristic, but a heavy, like, powerful engine characteristic. These bikes are you know, you can tell it's like a factory engine, right? It's got a lot of snap, a lot of power, and again, it loves to be ridden in the bottom end of the power, and that's a huge thing that I adjusted to. Now, one thing I want to ask Ryan is, he's been riding these, he's ridden 2018s, correct?
That is correct.
So what I want you to do is break down the difference, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. Break it down for us. What are the differences in power characteristics specifically between those years?
So what I noticed was with the 2018, they came with a cable power valve adjuster. And the difference between the 19s to the 22s now is they're all electronic power valve driven. They have a computer that senses the throttle position and which gear you're in, and allows the power curve to adapt to what you're trying to ride.
Sure.
So that's the biggest difference that I noticed.
So how did that feel coming from a cable power valve to an electronic? Is it smoother? What's kind of the differences?
It feels a lot smoother.
Right
Off the bottom.
Love it.
And it doesn't stall as easy that I noticed.
Beautiful.
So you can ride, like how you said, in that meat of that power, that real low torquey. It's hard to stall.
Got it.
That's what I like about the TM.
I like that. And again, I said this already, but it is a powerhouse, and you can feel that. It pulls you out, where there was times when we were riding these trails where I'm like, I'm going to put it in fourth. We're not going fast, but I'm like, I'm going to put it in fourth and see if it can pull me up this hill. And with very little clutch, it just grunts on out, which is extremely impressive. And truthfully, I don't think I've had a bike that does it as well as this in my initial impression. And again, I want to ride one of these. I want to keep putting time on this, and hopefully we can get a little bit more time tomorrow and during the race in EnduroFest. But I'm very excited about this machine. To get a little taste of it, I want to get one. I want to test it. I want to give you guys a full-on review. Now, coming from that, I'm going to make a couple little mentions, okay? One thing is, on this 19, we've got a 10 mm master cylinder. Now, of course, clutch is extremely important on especially if you're riding technical stuff. Clutch is everything. You need a strong clutch. I'm sure you guys know my opinions on a lot of the machines. I mean, to me, the KTM has the best clutch. KTM, Husky, Gas, they're all pretty similar. And those clutches are bulletproof. They're made of some kind of crazy metal that, you know, we've got some unobtainium metal that it just doesn't wear. You can heat it up and it just keeps going. That's, you know, a huge thing for me in hard enduro. And honestly, I'm really impressed with this clutch. Like, I would say, of the bikes I've ridden, again, I need to put more time on them, but I would say it goes KTM, and a close second place is the TM. I mean, I would say it's a little bit snappy, right? I might change this 10 mm master cylinder to a 9 mm. That would also make a softer pull, and that would widen that friction zone out, which is something that we're looking for in hard enduro. We want a nice wide friction zone. This one's pretty quick. That can cause you to break traction. It's not horrible. Now, what are you running?
I'm running a 9.
See, so Ryan's got a 9. That's a wider friction zone, a little bit better. Let me ask you this. Clutch plates. I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay.
How often are you changing your clutch plates on your TM?
To be honest, I do it maybe around 60 hours.
That's pretty awesome.
I do it just to keep up the maintenance, because I don't want to break down in these trails that we ride here in Hawaii. We kind of ride kind of far away from the truck. Yeah. So I just want to make sure that I'm on top of my game.
I'll be honest, I don't think I can make it back right now. I don't even know where we are. And I felt like that the whole time. And I've got a pretty good sense of direction, and I'm going, I don't know, man. I might not be able to make it back. So I get that. If you were to push it, how long do you think they'd last?
I would say easy 200 hours.
I like it. See, and that's what I feel. You can almost feel that immediately. Like, I feel like they're really strong. I feel like they're just as strong as the KTM. Close. It's a close battle, right? So that's huge to me. Clutch, right? You guys have seen me talk 1,000 times about the importance of clutch control. I'm riding that clutch all the time. I'm tough on a clutch. And listen, the Beta has done great. the Beta, the bike that I'm currently on, I mean, it's lasted quite a long time, but you can feel pretty much immediately like, okay, this isn't quite as good as the KTM. This bike, I'm not gonna lie, it's really close. I need to put more time on it, but I think a few adjustments, 9mm, I'm gonna feel pretty dialed in. Now, speaking of dialed in, we have to talk about the ergos of the bike, right? Obviously, we see this beautiful aluminum frame that I'm bashing through these rocks. How disrespectful is that? Beautiful machine. I mean, it's a gorgeous bike. You see it. It's flashy. They're beautiful. Aluminum frame, really similar to the Honda, right? And I've ridden Hondas. My brother, he's got a CR500. And I put actually a decent amount of time on it, and I know the ergos of a Honda. This is similar, but it's different. It's like a Honda. It's like a European Honda. It's a little thinner. I noticed the radiators are a little tucked in, whereas on the Honda they're quite wide. I think I was surprised by how quickly I adapted. Now, I feel pretty comfortable. I mean, I went out, we hammered today, did a nice little 2-hour loop, and I felt really comfortable on the machine. It was pretty quickly. I was flowing through the trails, feeling really good. What I want to know is, have they changed the frame at all from the brand 18 to now 21?
Well, 21 and 18 are all the same.
Okay.
But the new 22s that came out is a whole new redesigned chassis that I never got to ride yet, and my first ride will be at Page, Arizona.
Okay.
On it, so we'll see how it is.
If you see Ryan at Page, come say what's up and ask him how it is. I'm excited to see you ride that, and truthfully, for me, it's like, I'm pumped about development. That makes me excited. That makes me want to get a 22. I mean, like I said, I would love to put more time on this. But that being said, I felt very comfortable. It's a rigid frame, right? Aluminum frames are a little more rigid than steel frame. It's rigid, but it's not. It actually flexes pretty well. I wasn't feeling like I was anywhere like breaking traction. It felt like it hugged in really good. It felt like I was flowing, and I adapted pretty quickly. It feels like an in-between of the Hondas that I've ridden in the past and a European, Sherco Beta. Honestly, it might even be a little better than on the ergo side. I'm not sure, but it might be a little better than the Sherco or the Beta that I've ridden in the past. Again, I want to put more time. It makes me excited. I'm so, dude, thank you for letting me buy.
Oh, no problem. I'm glad you're riding this.
So, I mean, I'm pumped about it. One more thing. Let's talk suspension. Do they come stock with KYB?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so this is stock, correct?
Stock.
So I've ran stock KYB for a long time. Sherco, Beta. I like the KYB much better than the WP personally. I've always had I feel like I can just I like the valving, the spring fork. I mean, KYB is actually a pretty old school fork setup, and it works. It's tried and true, right? So the thing about this is again, it's a good setup. I think I liked my stock Beta a little better. I would probably valve. This doesn't have any valving, right?
It's completely stock.
Completely stock. Right. So I mean, I'm a stock kind of guy. I don't do a lot of changes, honestly, on the suspension. I got on it. I felt he's got the sag set at 110 for him. I'm a little heavier than him, right? You're 160.
165.
165. I'm more around 175, 180. I sat on it and I immediately went, that's about where I set my sag, right? 120 millimeters. I personally like it to sit a little closer. So it's pretty close to set up pretty dialed in for me, suspension-wise. I softened the clickers a little bit. It was a little stiff, just feeling it. I mean, it's not bad. It's a little stiff. Maybe I would soften it just a little bit so it sits in the stroke a little bit better. I did sit on yours. You've got a Stillwell.
Yeah.
So I sat on his and went like this, and I went, oh. Can I ride yours for EnduroFest? Right. I mean, it's dialed in. It feels really good. But this is honestly, as far as stock suspension goes, I still believe, KYB, I'm going to pick it every single time. It feels awesome. I'm pumped on it. So really, that's your quick, I don't know how long I've been talking for. That's your quick breakdown on this machine. Ryan, thank you so much. Give Ryan a follow on Instagram, Govea11. And his name has almost every vowel in it, so see if you can figure that out. And that's a good way for me to remember it, because I was like, dude, what's your at? I can't find it. Yeah, I always got to spell it.
Govea11.
Hawaiian guy, right? We'll put it in the thing. Give him a follow on Instagram. He's a killer dude. Letting me thrash his bike. I'm trying to be gentle on it. And dude, you're the man. I'm looking forward to EnduroFest. And you know, I thank you for having me. Thank you for showing me these trails. Hawaii, I gotta say, and you're gonna hear me say it more and more, this might be the hard enduro paradise. I love it here. This is so much fun. I might have to move, and yeah, dude, I might be an island boy.
You're pretty close.
Right on. Thank you guys so much. Give me a follow on Instagram. We're at RichLarson511. Follow IRC Moto at IRC Moto, of course. Facebook, Instagram, all of that. And until next time, keep shredding.